What's going on, y'all? Your boy Darius the Great here, back again for another video. And this time, I want to talk to you guys about this piece of wrestling news that came out at the time of recording. Came out like yesterday, pretty late in the afternoon, in the evening actually. And I was just like, I was surprised by it. I think it might have. What's going on, y'all? Your boy Darius the Great here, back again for another video. And this time, I want to talk about this piece of wrestling news because it was very surprising when it came out yesterday at the time of recording. It was like as SmackDown was going off the air, or like it was during SmackDown, one of the two, that Matt Riddle has been released by WWE, and I was shocked because like we figured that the round of talent cuts that were happening, from main roster and NXT. We thought it was over, right? It seemed that way. And then Matt Riddle got released, and it was just him. Like, it wasn't anybody else. It was just him. And it was said that, this was a separate thing. And it was just kind of crazy because Matt Riddle, for like the past few years that he's been on main roster, has been, he's been a pretty decent mainstay. He's always featured in some capacity, right? And I just wasn't expecting to see his name as someone that was released because, like, let's be honest, Mustafa Ali aside, because that one was just like crazy. It just didn't make any sense. Everyone else who had been released pretty much weren't being used on TV, and it didn't seem like they had any plans to use them. Matt Riddle had been on TV pretty consistently. He had just gotten taken off shortly after, a whole JFK airport incident in which he alleged that he was, well, he didn't allege, he flat out said that he was, sexually assaulted by a cop, I guess, that was like checking him or something. And then he was taken off TV and off the house show circuit, and like reports came out saying that, it had nothing to do with that. He had like a double ear infection or something. That's what it was. And it was just like, it's very interesting timing, right? And then he just never came back to TV. He got released, and it was just, it immediately raised my eyebrow. I was just like, okay, it definitely had to be the airport thing, right? It had to be. Had to be. It's the only thing that made sense, right? And like I believe it was Fightful came out in an article and said that one source they spoke to at WWE was like, yeah, he just burned he burned through way too many chances, and that quote, that line right there is where I'm like, I firmly believe it was the airport thing, right? I've seen some people have like little conspiracy theories and little jokes that WWE and UFC merge. Matt Riddle's up out of there because he infamously, does not get along with Dana White, after his like exit at UFC. But I definitely don't think it had anything to do with that because, as far as we can tell, the structure of TKO Group Holdings, there's WWE side, there's UFC side. They don't really mix, at least when it comes to the business aspect of things. So I definitely think it was the JFK airport thing, especially with that rhetoric of he burned through too many chances, because we know that he had, some drug suspensions with the wellness policy, right? We've heard stories of him, having little backstage confrontations and heat with certain people. Obviously, he and Seth at a point had heat, but they smoothed that over. We knew that like Brock Lesnar did not want to work with him at all, and like I believe that Elimination Chamber match from like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, he just didn't even look at him. I'm pretty sure the only thing he did to him was give him an F5, and that was it. So yeah, I think what might have happened is that they looked into the airport incident. The airport themselves looked into the incident, found out there's nothing. He was BSing, and they're like, all right, Matt, that's enough. We don't play those kind of games, buddy. We don't play those type of games. You got to go. Bye. It's too much. That's just that's my personal theory, and it's a shame because Matt is like dude is really talented in the ring. Like, he's really talented. Character wise, the dumb stoner thing, it kind of ran its course for a little bit, right? I feel like it worked. It worked best with Randy and RK Bro, right? It just did. And I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like this release might be a blessing in disguise for him, because I honestly don't think his career is going to go anywhere without Randy Orton. And I say that because it seemed that after Randy got hurt and went out, to deal with his back issues, right? They didn't seem to know what to do with Matt. I mean, he had that program with Seth and the side by side interview segment that was riffing off of Cormier and John Jones. But like, he beat Seth in what? The Extreme Rules, the cage match, the what's it called? Fight Pit. He beat him in that, right? And then I think Seth won the final match, or did they even have a final match? I don't remember, but it was just like, after that feud, they didn't really elevate Riddle to like a certain point. He just kind of hung around, and it seemed like they were just waiting for Randy to come back. And that when it seemed as if, Randy's not going to come back for a while, they just didn't really know what to do with him. They put him in this. They tried to basically rehash RK Bro, but with him and Drew McIntyre, and it just didn't really hit the same. And it was just clear that without Randy, they had no real creative plans for him. That's how it seemed to me, right? So this might be a blessing in disguise for Matt. I don't know if he'll go to AEW or if he'll go to like Impact. I could easily just see him touring the indies like Matt Cardona is right now, where he's not sticking to one promotion. But it is a shame that he had to go down like this, man. It is, because he's really talented in the ring, like a top tier guy. But yeah, man, let me know what you think about Matt Riddle getting released. What's your opinions on it? Do me a favor, like the video as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell. Do all that YouTube algorithm engagement stuff that helps push the content, so I'm told, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.